So in today's video we're going to take a trip outside and try to synthesize some vitamin D while the sun's out. But yeah, in fact, well, since that's not looking that good, let's play with some scooters. And so in today's video I want to talk about the two main dashboards out there. As far as I know, if I have seen someone do a fork of, I think this one, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, the commercial ones are the DisplayDash, and I'll see what I can do to make that stop flickering. And the M365 Dash, I think this is called. And so we're gonna go a bit over the pros and cons of each solution. And then I did actually get the GoPro, and we can actually get some shots of these in action. So let's start off with the M365 Dash. This is running on an ESP chip, right? One of those Bluetooth Arduino programmable. Well, I don't know if they programmed it in Arduino, but anyway. So it has Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, has a bit more features, however, and an LCD. Right, the problem I'm having with this one is that the 3D print will simply not stick to my scooter, right? So the whole thing up from here will just detach completely, and it'll stay on the 3 wires used by this. Both of these simply sniff the one data bus that's going between the BMS, the drive, and the BMS, right? So they basically take a look at all the variables that are flowing around the scooter and just display more than what this would, right? So in the case of this one, you need to solder 3 wires. The DisplayDash actually comes with a connector, and you don't need to do any soldering on that one. And so anyway, usually you navigate the menus of these by pressing the brake or the accelerator with the scooter not moving. So this one has a few trips. I don't know why it always goes to B, right? But it shows you a bunch of variables, shows you the voltage, percentage, and it'll you can set what it does on the main screen, right, while you're riding. I have mine set to watts, and I have to say I kind of mind the UI of this one quite a bit. I'm not super in favor, right? It does have even little lights for the right, the front and back light. This is too small and too far for me to see while I'm riding, and it simply just adds clutter.
I will say, I was very excited the day that this package arrived. The idea of tasting this was really exciting. It's interesting how that has changed as this has gotten closer to my face.
Right, I mean, and cruise control, yeah, I guess, but like, does it really help, right? Then you have the ESC temperature, right? So the main controller temperature and the time, the trip time, kind of. But all of this could have been right, and I have this here. I'll for sure have some sort of indication on my scooter, right? Even if it's the 4-dot displayed one. I don't know. I'm kind of against many of the decisions that were taken with this one. It comes with a fake carbon fiber sticker. I haven't put that on. I think it looks like shit. I'm sorry. But another issue that I've had with both of these is that they were completely not waterproof, right? So I myself like to ride my scooter in whatever fucking weather it is outside, right? And so with this one, I've actually added some sanitary silicone right over the display. I don't know how well that'll show up, but this translucenty stuff is added by me. And then on the back side, I've applied nail varnish. It stopped working for about 8 hours when I applied it. I think it somehow interferes with the crystals, but then it started working again and it's fine. Anyway, so dumped everything in a thick layer of nail varnish in an attempt to at least partially mitigate the water ingress. Anyway, so moving on to the DisplayDash, and this is a solution I like a lot more. So first of all, there's this guy or chick, I don't know, that has everything up on GitHub and left a note somehow saying he doesn't have a scooter anymore, so can't maintain the project, so everyone have at it. And I bought this from a French dude, which I think just simply downloaded all the files and made, so this runs on a custom board, which is basically an Arduino kind of minimal setup. So it has a 328p, a very small package, and just like 3 other components like a capacitor, a resistor. It's very minimal and a very good approach, right? So kept everything to a minimum, and then it connects to one of these I2C OLED displays similar to what I have on my power monitors. Has the 3D printed case, which is a bit, I don't know, I like it a bit more than that one given that it's angled, and has this printed plastic shield for the display, which is kind of nice. But again, this came with completely no care taken to water ingression, and again with this one I applied a thick ass layer of nail lacquer, and they have been in light rain for quite a good few hours and they're still fine, right? They both have about a year age wise, and this one is a lot simpler, and I agree with a lot more of the decisions a lot more. So I'm also massively interested in power, and so this is what this one shows as well, right? Well, we'll see those in action as we move along. And then long press gives you ride time and total kilometers. So yeah, I think we should move over to the GoPro and start from there. Alright, so this is what my chest sees when I move around. What a outstanding perspective. Okay, so basically both of these have settings which you can enable by pressing both the gas and the brake. As you have zoom mode, yes or no. What it shows in zoom mode, again I'm going for power. You can go for speed or current, but yeah, again power. Has a battery alert, languages, and most interesting, and I really hope this will show up nicely. I don't know how well it'll show, to be honest. Anyway, has the battery overview where it lists the battery, the voltage of each of the 10 banks. And this I have actually used on this exact scooter to notice that bank 4 is failing. So in the case of mine, there seems to be a problem with the BMS because I swapped the bank and it still is starting to lag behind, right? Anyway, this is not about that. Let's move on over to the other one before having a quick test ride. So again, pressing both should enter the menu, and this is again tiny bit more polished. Scooter info, let's see. All right, how do I get out? All right, battery info, and again this shows more stuff. It's a bit nicer, but again that one immediately showed me everything I needed, and I didn't have the date, but do I really need the date that often? And I don't know. Anyway, I can see how many people would prefer this, but I don't know. I don't, to be honest. Trip info, settings, and this one has an update procedure over Bluetooth, right? So the guy is quite hardcore when it comes to, right, embedded crap. But anyway, so you can change scooter parameters here. Regen, week, metric, that kind of crap, which yeah, I guess is nice. Night mode, locking, whatever. And yeah, so I think this is it. Let's quickly have a little round of how can I film this now? I'll make sure to go a bit lower. All right. a big ass issue with this one is it will not show you regen watts, right? So right now I'm braking quite hardly and it will not show the watts that are being fed back into the pack, which I don't know, I find to be rather annoying and a damn shame, right? Because that data is clearly there. And this fancy ass dashboard is definitely not showing it. Maybe I'll update it. Maybe it'll show it. I don't know. At least now it's totally not doing it. And it is quite annoying. Alright. So that's one done. And now let's go for the Pro 2. And yeah, so over here we'll see the watts also when we're regen braking, right? So it does have a you can see the software is quite unpolished with this one, right? So it's barely functional, like first public beta type deal. But yeah, with regen braking, I don't know what the problem is, but it's still a bit iffy, but at least it does show it, right? I guess it would be the correct value. I don't know why it's not working correctly, but anyway. I see sometimes it just completely zones out and doesn't show shit, but anyway, and actually it's supposed to show curves when it's regen braking, right? The regen braking terminology from Xiaomi. And I asked the guy if you could reprogram that with a minus for watts, right? Like negative watts. And he said yes. And I don't know if that broke some stuff or I don't know. Anyway, yeah, let's go back and then I'll go edit this. And if you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments. Otherwise, that's kind of been it.